Bad End Theatre. I have no idea what this game is about. All I know is it was recommended to me. So I got it. And now here I am. Playing it. Whoa! Crazy. Let's just ew. Welcome to Bad End Theatre. On this stage, we shall be toying with fate. You will make many choices, unlocking darker and darker paths, all in order to witness a lovely variety of tragic events. Huh. But first allow me to explain how it works. To begin the tutorial, select whichever doll you like. That one. You are... oh. The Demon Doll. You control the Demon Doll. You're a fierce looking guy just minding your own business. How will you interact with the human doll? Play nice. You try to make friends with the human doll, but it kills you in cold blood. How ruthless. Oh, okay. You found your very first bad ending, but don't worry, the story need not end here. Let's reset the stage and try again. This time try controlling the other doll. Human doll. You control the human doll. You're a friendly little guy just minding your own business. How will you interact with the demon doll? Play nice. You and the demon doll are able to set aside your differences and become friends. Why, this isn't a bad ending at all. I should have written out this possibility. It's just not suited to my theatre whatsoever. Now that you know how the story goes, you can set the doll's behaviour in advance. As you just saw, these behaviours will automatically be set to what you choose during your last playthrough. But now you can turn each one on or off without having to replay from that doll's perspective. Oh, right, okay. Yes, my theatre actually doubles as a puzzle game. Now try turning the doll's behaviours on and off to see the different outcomes. You control the demon doll. You're a fierce looking guy just minding your own business. How will you interact with the human doll? Attack it. You both attack each other at once and die together. End tutorial. I'm done. That was nice. Now, without further ado, let's start the show. Oh! You're the hero, you're a maiden, an underling, or an overlord. Yeah, we'll go basic and start with hero, I think. You are the hero. You like to think of yourself as a pretty reliable and swell guy. Your life has been rather ordinary, aside from the occasional heroic adventures, fighting evil monsters and whatnot. You are told a maiden from your village has been kidnapped, and is likely being held captive at the nearby demon overlord's castle. Who even puts a village right next to where an entire demon army hangs out? You just don't get it. You're happy to protect the townspeople though. You were born to play this role. You head off on your adventure to rescue the maiden. But demon soldiers block your path. You could kill them to gain experience. Bravely slaughter the evil creatures. You make quick work of the vile creatures who stood in your way. You feel much stronger now. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You are faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the overlord. Ask if they'll let you in, or cut through the demon army. Cut through the demon army! You gather your courage. This is what must be done in order to rescue the maiden. These are all evil demons anyway. The world is much safer with them gone. Oh. That's what you tell yourself while you kill one after another on your way to the Overlord's chambers. The Overlord appears, demanding to know what the hell you're doing murdering all her soldiers. You get straight to the point and ask her where the maiden is. She feigns ignorance, a convincing act, but you won't be fooled. Oh no. If the maiden isn't here, then what happened to her? You can only see one answer. The Overlord definitely captured her. In fact, it's possible she's already been devoured. Thinking about that poor maiden's fate fills you with hatred. You fight the Overlord with everything you've got. You become strong with the hordes of demons you took down before this final battle. The Overlord is almost no match for you. You cut her to pieces. The Overlord has fallen. You breathe a sigh of relief, but your job is not yet finished. You search the castle. Unfortunately, you find no sign of the maiden within its walls. It's just as you suspected, she must have already been devoured. You feel hollow. A great evil has been banished from this world, but what does that matter if you were too weak to save someone? You stand alone amidst the carnage and ponder what it means to be a hero. You return to the Overlord's remains and wrap her head in your cape to bring back to the village. Surely your great victory will be celebrated. Failed hero end. Let's go with the hero again. I'm not reading it again. Flee like a coward. Forgetting your pride, you escape with your life. But you can't return home now, your reputation will be ruined. You wonder how you'll ever be able to rescue that maiden all on your own if you can't even fight some lousy demon underlings. You take your chances at the castle, you're a hero after all, this is your job. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You are faced with an army of demons that look very intimidating. There is no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. Ask if they'll let me in. You go up to the nearest demon and explain why you've come here. They stare you down and you feel very uncomfortable. But they seem to trust you and escort you directly to the Overlord's chambers. That was easy. The Overlord is alone. You ask about the maiden, but the Overlord doesn't seem to know what you're talking about. Was she really never here? You wonder what could have happened to her. The Overlord says she wishes she could help you, but you're the first human that's come here in forever, at least what that she knows of. You think of how you probably shouldn't trust her, seeing as she's a demon and all, but you can't really prove she's lying either. You apologize for the intrusion and return home to your village. The maiden was never found. Useless hero end. Okay. Nice. Let's play the underlings now. Oh, I forgot to pick the... Oh well, doesn't matter. You're a demon underling in service of the Overlord. You aren't particularly strong, but not particularly weak either. That's what your friends tell you. Your job is to guard the castle and keep humans away. It's unbearably boring. Heroes rarely come all the way here to challenge the Overlord anyway. It's a lot of standing in one place, staring into nothing. You feel like you're gonna go crazy if you don't get a break. You decide to ask the Overlord for a day off. She gives you an earful about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. You wait for her to finish her lecture before returning to your post. What does she know about anything? Who made her the boss of everyone? You complain about the Overlord to your friends. They agree that she's kind of a snob, and totally deserves to be kicked off her throne. You only wanted to vent your frustrations, but the conversation somehow turned into an an assassination plot. You probably should steer this in a responsible direction. Let's not! You tell your friends you were totally not serious about this whole thing. You're actually cool with the status quo. After all, life must be pretty dang good if the only thing you have to complain about is that you live so comfortable there's nothing to do. The others nod but don't seem convinced. You say a coup d'etat would be more effort than it's worth. But you're still gonna rebel and sneak out of the castle. Your friends praise your mischievous ways. The change of atmosphere excites you. You spend some time rolling around in the grass, wild and free. As you make your way along the path to a nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. She seems very frightened and screams for a hero to come save her. You consider your options. Gobble her up? Tell her to quit yelling. Tell her to quit yelling, yeah. When the maiden realizes you're not going to hurt her, she regains her composure. Now she started talking to you like you're friends or something. You don't understand humans at all. You speak the same language, of course, which has always confused you, because why is there conveniently only one language in the world? If demons and humans have independent societies, wouldn't it make sense for them to each have their own language? The maiden is going on and on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. The bottom line, from what you gather, is that she wants you to take her to the Overlord. Sounds like it could be interesting. Besides, you have nothing better to do. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the Overlord. The Overlord asks you where you found this maiden, knowing full well that you've left the castle when you weren't supposed to. You apologise for disobeying her, but hope that the maiden is an interesting enough present that you may be forgiven. The Overlord nods and says everything's cool as long as you always listen to her from now on. You're impressed with what an easygoing boss she is. You mentioned how you can't believe you and your friends even considered overthrowing her. Jesus Christ. Oh my days. She gives you a look and says that was just... Oh, she gives you a look and you say that was just a joke, of course. She smiles and dismisses you. You decide it's about time for a nap. You don't get to sleep long. Your friends wake you up. Rude. One of them is stepping on you pretty hard. You ask them what their deal is. They say they're planning a whole revolution. They're gonna get rid of the current overlord and put a new ruler in place. They want to hear if you're in or out. And being a pretty lazy underling, you of course reply with, "That sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we just skip it instead?" Your friends question your loyalty to their cause. Oh no. She's actually not so bad, you guys! Your friends seem pretty disappointed. They apologize to you, but before you can ask what they're sorry about, one of them suddenly seizes you. Someone who's still loyal to the Overlord really has no place in our castle. You understand, right? Their claws tighten around your neck. You don't bother to struggle. You're outnumbered. You already know how things like this end. This is a pretty messed up thing to do to a friend, you tell them. Oh. They slit your throat in response. Damn. What the freak? Faithful underling end. So if I do dutiful and then play Overlord. You are the Overlord. You live in a castle surrounded by your demon servants. It's a pretty cushy life, you think. Except for those pesky humans who keep killing members of your army. There's even a role called Hero, whose whole purpose in life is just to dethrone you. What's their deal anyway? You've actively avoided pissing off the humans in hopes that they'll leave you and your army alone, but they never do. You're still new to the whole Overlord thing, if you're being quite honest with yourself. You don't really understand the politics of it, but you remind yourself everyone is just doing their best to fulfill their roles. You won't let them bait you into being the evil Overlord they expect. You think you're pretty cool and mature to hold yourself to the highest standard like that. One of your underlings walks into the room, totally interrupting your thoughts about how awesome you are. They're saying something about how boring it is to stand in one place guarding the castle all the time, especially since no one ever comes here anyway. You see their point, but the way they're whining about it kind of bothers you. What to do with this underling? Ah! Well, this is the story we already know. Let's go with the one we already know first. You give them a lecture about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. Your servants ought to do what they're told, whether they like it or not. They look really unhappy with you, but you're sure they'll thank you for this later. Venturing too far from the castle tends to spell death. You dismiss the underling and lie down in your nice and comfortable Overlord bed. All that lecturing made you want to take a nap. You fall asleep pretty quick, just another one of your amazing talents as the Overlord. You awake to a knock at your door. The underling from earlier brought back some company. You thought you told that underling to do their job, not drag strangers into your room. Looks like they took an unauthorized break away from the castle. You scold them, but ultimately, you're a little interested in this guest, so you let them off easy. That underling's not so bad. It's a maiden from the nearby human village. She says her role is to be captured by you. The maiden then goes on to say that she's been getting very impatient thinking about her impending capture, so she's come here to speed things along. You appreciate her honesty, but regret to inform her that you never had any plans to capture any humans. She seems very disappointed by this. Perhaps I'm not performing my role well enough. How can I be more maiden-like? You don't really understand the question. You think this world puts way too much focus on destiny and junk. Just go home and stop worrying about it, you tell her. The maiden seems to be having a hard time wrapping her head around this. She insists she stay and talk to you more. You feel warm inside as she looks into your eyes. This is the first time a human has looked at you without contempt. You wonder what to say. Tell her she better go home or let her stay for a while. Tell her she better go home. You love to have all the conversations in the world with your new friend, but having a human girl here will definitely cause trouble. You put on your mean face and tell her to get lost. The maiden does what she's told and takes her leave. You figure you may as well go back to bed now. But you don't get to rest very long. Before you know it, everything around you is being engulfed by flames. What's going on? You try to escape, but something's blocking the door. You're having trouble forcing it open. What is this? Someone didn't want you getting out. Are you being usurped? Usurped? Are you being... Hold on. How to pronounce usurped? Usurped. Are you being usurped? They have zero foresight. What castle will they rule from if this one burns? You don't want to believe that your underlings have betrayed you, but this is no accident. Those ungrateful bastards. You choke on the thick black smoke from the fire. You can't believe you're being done in by a bunch of cowards. You'll see them in hell. Burned Overlord end. Oh, we'll do Hungary and then do this. Hold on. You are the Overlord. Oh, I'm not reading that again. Tell them to get back to work again. But this time they're gonna eat the maiden, I believe. Just another one of your amazing talents as the Overlord. You awake to a huge commotion outside. A hero has shown up and started totally murdering your soldiers. What the hell, guy? You rush out into the battlefield to confront this jerkwad. You curse at him and very rudely inquire his reasons for doing all this. The hero yells at you, demanding you return the maiden you're holding captive. You don't know what he's talking about, but you can't forgive his actions. You do battle with the hero, but he has grown strong from cutting down your army. You're unable to defeat him. With decisive swings, he stabs and cuts you to pieces. You fall. You have failed your subjects. You spit curses weakly. You'd wish you'd been stronger. Maybe you were never suited to be the Overlord in the first place. The truth was, you were never that much more powerful than the demons who served you. It was the title, the control that gave you strength. These are your thoughts as you are swallowed by darkness. Be diplomatic hero with the hungry underling. This is so cool. I like this so much. So the underling is going to eat the maiden, but now we have the diplomatic one. Tell them to get back to work. So we got the diplomatic hero now. Oh, back. Hold on. We've got the diplomatic hero now. So it shouldn't be killing everyone. But hey, we'll see. You fall asleep pretty quick. Just another one of your amazing talents as the Overlord. You are awakened by one of your underlings. They brought you a hero who inquires about a missing maiden. You tell him you don't know anything. Humans never really visit the place. He believes you and goes home to your surprise. You believed he might try to fight you, but you're glad to get your nap instead. Until you wake up to something that's completely unexpected. Oh, I'm back to this! No! Okay, hold on. If this one's disloyal though, if it's disloyal, it might be a completely different ending. Yeah, and then the guy leaves, wake up to something complete. Oh! One of your underlings is tearing your throat out. You try to struggle, but you can tell you're already mortally wounded. What have you done to deserve this kind of ending? You curse at them, choking on your own blood. You die wondering if you could have done anything to prevent this. Damn. Assassinated Overlord ending. This is... wow. Okay, so... if we're this guy again, but we're not playing... we haven't selected Tyrant, we're gonna get the day off. Go and discard the castle, and that should completely stop the assassination. So I wonder what we're gonna have here. You set on your adventure outside the castle. Oh, is it not this? It's the same. gobble her up. Maidens aren't the best meal, but you figure you should live up to your demon name and strike back against the humans. You start devouring the maiden without so much as a second thought and feel quite proud of that. Other humans would surely praise you with curses if they were around to see. Oh man, if only someone could have been watching. Time to find an— oh my god. Time to find an audience for your evil deeds. You wander to the nearby village. The people are screaming and running away, throwing rocks at you and whatnot. You think that's pretty rude of them. You haven't even done anything yet. Put on a show. You attack the nearest human. He is old and weak, and his bones crunch delightfully. Your audience screams grow louder. Applause! You think, hey, this is pretty fun. I should have taken revenge like this a lot sooner. Before you continue your bloodthirsty dance, striking the villagers down, you fail to notice a sword-wielding hero run towards you. He takes you out with one swift blow. You're just a demon underling after all. As you die, you think, that was totally worth it. The curtain closes. Performer underling. Change your mind and leave. You figure if people are upset at just the sight of you, they won't fully appreciate any terrible acts you commit. Also, they might fight back. That probably wouldn't end well. You're just one little underling after all. This little day out has been adequately refreshing. You return to the castle thinking you'll take a nap. Oh. One of them is stepping on you pretty hard. You ask what their deal is. They're planning a whole revolution. Let's kill the Overlord! You tell them you were just joking, and clarify that you're totally in it to win it. They say you were always terrible with jokes. Whether or not you actually feel like killing the Overlord, you know how bad it'd be to end up on the wrong side of things. And if this assassination deal doesn't pan out, you can always pretend you were innocent all along, but beneath your shield of faux confidence, you worry about what you're getting yourself dragged into. You follow your friends outside the castle to talk more about the plan. You're curious if they have any idea how they want to go about this. They figured they'd just lock her in a room and set it on fire. What a stupid plan. That could go wrong in so many ways. You realise your friends are just a bunch of directionless thugs, useless without someone's guidance. Your guidance! There'd probably be casualties if you fought her head on, and while showy deaths make a revolution a heck of a lot more fun, it's probably the wrong way to go. Your friends agree and suggest that you play the assassin. You really didn't want it to come down to this, but you can't back down now. You'll have to be the one to assassinate the Overlord. Besides, no one has any better ideas. You sneak into the Overlord's room. She's taking a nap like usual. This is almost too easy. You silently approach your master. She looks so peaceful. Gets her throat ripped out. And we die if we do this one. Time to die. You figure the cleanest way to do this would to dig your claws into her throat, so you do just that. She wakes up, but not in time to stop you. You watch as she chokes on her blood, cursing you before finally expiring. That felt terrible. You remind yourself it was either her or you, and you weren't about to let yourself get killed by anyone. You leave the room and find your friends waiting just outside. They look pleased, only now do you realise they must have planned to use you like this from the beginning. You are the new ruler of this castle. Your subjects bow before you. You live in fear that they will one day betray you as you had betrayed the Overlord. Lord Underling and B. Wait. There's two different ends you can have for this?